Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Live here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the creme de la creme, the finest games, in our opinion, coming to the Nintendo Switch in the month of July. A little bit later than usual. Yeah, we've had stuff going on, but it's still July, and that's what counts. As always, this is not an exhaustive list of all the games coming to the Switch in the month of July. This is just our picks of the creme de la creme, our personal favorites that we're most excited for. So, yes, but anyway, that's more than enough waffling. Actually, before we get started, just one thing to note. It's not included as one of the games on this list, but the Somnium Files Nirvana initiative was delayed in Europe to the 8th of July, so that sort of should be on the list, but it was on the list last time, and North America it's already out. Supply chain issues or something with the physical version. Let's dive right into things. Starting things off on the 8th of July, we have KLONOA Phantasy Reverie series, which is the first game and the second game, all remade and all zhuzhed up to be all modern and stuff. KLONOA is one of those series that I was aware of when I was younger, but I never actually played. We've all got them, and as a result, it holds this sort of strange mystery about it. But more importantly, you know, rather than just being able to play the game properly, there's a demo available right now as well, which you can go and download and play on the Switch. And you know what? It's a good old time, so you can download that for free, get a taste of KLONOA, and see whether it's your kind of cup of tea when it comes out. I certainly enjoyed it. Then on the 12th of July, we've got the Zelda-inspired Time on Frog Island, which is something that Xeon has already covered to great extent in another video, which I'll link in the description. But the nub of this game is that you are essentially doing a load of trading stuff. It's kind of a life sim style game, but trading with frogs. I do enjoy these more relaxed, easygoing style games. I mean, I like, crazy action as well as much as the next person, but sometimes you just want to chill out, you just want to relax. And this game looks like it's going to tick those boxes in particular. Not the action ones, the relaxing ones. Then on the 14th of July, we have Xel, I think it's pronounced X-E-L. Maybe that's how it's pronounced. And if you're looking at this and thinking, Alex, is that another Zelda-inspired game? I'd say almost certainly yes. It's been a while since we've had a brand new top-down Zelda. I know we had Link's Awakening on Switch, but that was a remake, doesn't really count. And so I'm always gagging for this kind of thing, and this one looks like it's got the potential to be one that's actually really good. The art style is fun, the gameplay looks solid. I'm really keeping an eye on this one, although we have been burnt in the past with other games that try to emulate this, but it's entirely possible that this is going to be a good. Just because other ones aren't a good doesn't mean this one can't be. Then on the 19th of July, we have Endling Extinction is Forever, which is a game that I love the look of, but at the same time, I'm in two minds about playing because I've got a feeling it's going to give me the weepies. You play as the last fox mother on Earth, and you've got to look after your cubs and progress and try and keep them safe and try and get through the game without your cubs coming to harm. And if you're unaware, an Endling is literally the last member of a species. So arguably not entirely accurate in this instance, but you know what, we'll let it slide. Extinction is something that I feel very strongly about, and so I'm really pleased to see games like this really highlighting just what sort of issues we're facing. Obviously, it's not happening to foxes, but it's being used to deliver a message. It's in a fantasy situation, but the message is very relevant right now. And that can only be a good thing. Plus, the game looks gorgeous, that's also good. Then on the 21st of July, we have River City Saga 3 Kingdoms, which is a new River City game that, unsurprisingly, takes place in the time of the Three Kingdoms. Hugely important part of history that gets completely and utterly ignored by a lot of history curriculums in the West, which is an absolute sin in my opinion. But, we've got games like this that are at least starting to maybe tickle the fancy of people who want to learn a bit more about history. The fact that it's leaning on the original River City art style is really weirdly charming to me. I'm not a huge fan of 2D sprites mixed into 3D environments, but for some reason, this is kind of working for me. I don't, completely dislike this. There are some shots where you're doing like special moves where I'm a bit like, nah, but overall, I like the look of this. I think visually, it's pretty good. And when someone who doesn't like that particular art style is saying it looks good, that's got to be a good. Simple gameplay premise with a load of modern stuff thrown in there to give it some real oomph and some real meat. Yeah, I think this is going to be a damn good time. Then on the 22nd of July, we've got Live Alive, and I know what I just said about 2D and 3D, and unfortunately, I stand by it. I don't like the HD 2D thing, I'm sorry. But loads of people love it, and rightly so. You know, my opinion isn't the only one out there. And Live Alive, even, you know, taking my dislike of the art style into account, looks absolutely fantastic. But don't take my word for it. Xeon's done a video previewing the game, so make sure you check that out. There'll be a link in the description. He's going to go into far more detail than I can, because he's done a whole video on it. Then on the very same 22nd of July, we've got Capcom Arcade Second Stadium, which, apart from being a slightly strange title, is a follow-up to Capcom Arcade Stadium. Can you believe it? There were so many arcade games made back in the day, you know, back in the past. Everyone loves the past. And more often than not, they get lost to the annals of history. But not here. We are seeing so many arcade games that I've never even heard of just being brought back and being able to be played on a modern system like the Switch. I love it when old stuff like this gets revitalized and can be enjoyed by a whole new audience. Like, as I said, I don't even recognize half of these games. I am thrilled to have this many games available for me to play in a very convenient and, more importantly, very affordable package. I know it's not going to be for everyone. A lot of people will look at these old games and think, oh no, they're not for me. You know, they're people who don't like arcade-style games, and that's fine, but I love them, so this one's in my sights. This one's in my sights bad. Then on the 28th of July, we have Azure Striker GUNVOLT 3. Now, the original Azure Striker and Azure Striker 2 have this style about them where a load of the screen is taken up by text, and, you know, it's people talking back and forth, and it was kind of fun and quirky, and they're doing it again, even though they've got even more screen real estate this time, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. But at the same time, the game itself, the actual gameplay, looks just as good, if not better, than the previous two titles. Inti Creates are like the flag bearers of the retro-style games, like proper retro Mega Man-inspired kind of games, and it really looks like they're going to knock it out of the park yet again with this game. Given all that they've done with things like Blaster Master Zero and all the... They actually managed to make Mighty Number 9, or at least a game featuring Mighty Number 9, decent. I don't see how they can fluff this one up. On the very same 28th of July, we have Digimon Survive. It's another 2D sprite game in 3D worlds. This month's chock full of them. I was well aware of Digimon when growing up. You know, I couldn't escape it, just like Pokemon and stuff like that. I mean, it was nowhere near as big as Pokemon, and it still isn't, obviously, but it has been ages since I've even thought about Digimon, and it's kind of fun just to see it being revived. I mean, I say being revived, it has had game releases hither and thither throughout the years, but I don't know, this kind of feels like they're really sort of not entirely reinventing the series, but going in a very different direction. Like, the fact that it's a survival game is a really interesting concept, because it's also a turn-based tactical RPG. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work, but it has got my curiosity at the very least. Very unrelated, but I feel the need to share this. When I was in primary school, which is like elementary school in America, I remember not so much getting into an argument, but there was a bully trying to convince me that Digimon is better than Pokemon, and I was like, no, Pokemon's better, because I preferred Pokemon, and I still do. But they were trying to convince me that Digimon's better, and the way that they tried to convince me was to sing the theme tune at me. I think because it contains the line, Digimon are the champions, and apparently just because it's in a theme song, it must be true. You know, children are a different breed. But Digimon Survive, it's a new game in the series, and it looks like it's going in a very different direction. Fingers crossed it's a good. Then on the 29th of July, we have Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Now, I am really excited about this game, but I feel like with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and not so much the original because it came out before I was aware of it, But with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, all the stuff that they built up with things like Pyra and Mithra and stuff like that, I don't want to watch any more of the trailers. I don't want to watch the direct. I don't know if anything was spoiled or not, but I'm not taking the risk. I want to go into this game as blind as reasonably possible. I mean, obviously, I already know quite a bit of stuff that's already happened, but I want to go into this blind, and it's like, it's coming out soon, baby. I can wait. I am super keen what new directions they're going to go in with this. I have full confidence in Monolith Soft for making this game as good as the other two. I need to go back and play more of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Maybe I'll do that just to sate myself, but oh my god, it's finally happening. Now just bring Xenoblade Chronicles X over to the Switch, you cowards. And there we have it. Those are our picks of the most exciting games coming to the Nintendo Switch in the month of July. Did we miss something? Are you champing at the bit for a particular game that we didn't even so much as pay a blindest bit of attention? Let us know with a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you click on that subscribe button eventually, and be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye. Fun fact, this is like luminous pink in real life, but for some reason, it doesn't show up on the color profile that I've got on the camera. It's more sort of orangey. That's your fun fact of the day.